let's head to probably where the rest of the crew is. There they all are. Hello, everybody. I love that I can stand and give the little Lalas hugs. When you hugged, I was technically still taller than you. But it's great. Lalaki, how you doing up there? Oh, you scared me to death. Scared me to death. Okay, so is this the quest? The paths we walk. Ah, yes. 'Twas bitterly cold when you first came to our city, when I stood waiting for you before the Arch of the Worthy. To think that was where it all began. How much has changed since that day? Forgive me. Of late I have been studying the works of Beladion, Poet King, who wrote, "To ye who ask of things to come, give thought to what is past and gone." I say this to you, Master Kelton, because as you move, so too does the world. Pray spare a moment to contemplate your journey while you can. Oh. The road stretched on, obscured by an endless veil of snow. Somewhere in the white beyond stood the great iron gates, and on the other side, a humble manservant who awaited the coming of 3 travelers. Oh, what is this? This is not what I was expecting at all. A warm welcome to you, Master Kelton. To what do I owe the pleasure? Wow, okay, so it's kind of a reflective on people's interactions with us. This is cool because it kind of digs a little bit into the reasons why certain characters interacted with us, which of course from a game sense, it's like, oh, well, they interacted with us because the game decided that this person was going to interact with us. But this really fleshes out the world and makes it a lot more lived in. What will it be then? Ale? Mulled wine? No, don't tell me. Cocoa? Tea? Oh, so to be memories then, is it? Now there's a bitter draught that'll leave you wanting. Assuming you can remember your own name, that is. Take your friend, Tataru. One moment she's just another girl waiting on customers, clearing tables and so forth, and the next she's got a dozen admirers asking after her every bloody night. I'll be darned if I can remember how it happened. Singing those stupid songs, dancing those daft dances. Though, to be honest, I think it was her stories that really won him over. Stories of a certain hero's grand adventures across Eorzea, told with a flair that put a minstrel to shame. She's a storyteller? We know that she can sew. Now we're learning that she can sing and spin tales, which is really, really cool. And she's terrible with her carbuncle. It ran off. Her carbuncle has yet to come back. Who doesn't love a good hero's tale, am I right? We even got one about the man who built this tavern. He was one of the founding fathers of Ishgard, or so it goes. A man who forsook wealth and fame and chose the life of a humble tavern keeper. Is that like your grandfather? It's just a tale, of course, albeit a good one. As for the truth, who can say, friend? Who can truly say? She was singing when we met Tataru. I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to go back. I'll splice the cutscenes from Rescue that relate to each of these discussions so you can see how they're woven together. Please do. Please do. That sounds awesome. On behalf of House Helinar, of all of Ishgard, I offer unto you my deepest and most humble thanks. You risked your life to stand against our sworn enemy and freed us from a millennium of torment. Though we can never hope to repay you, we will ever remember you and your deeds, that our children and children's children might know the man whom they owe their lives. You don't have to do that, but that's sweet. Oh, Artria. No, sorry, Emmeline. I always get those two confused. It's terrible. I should not get them confused. What a hard-working squire. By the Fury. I gathered you were clever, but I was not aware that you were capable of this. With respect, you are wasted on your master. Hard-working, full of potential? I think there is a place for you here with the Rose Knights, if you would have it. Are you stealing on our way? That you would even consider taking me into your service is a tremendous honor, my lady. Were I free to do so, I should gladly accept. But I am pledged to another, as you well know. What an honorable kid! Pledged to another, you rascal? I thought I saw you whispering in young Solette's ear the other day. You certainly wasted no time wooing our newest maid. A different type of pledge. I thought it was pledged to, like, as the squire and respectful, honorable squire, but this might be a different pledge. For all the ladies' disdain, it was an old familiar dance. To her, Lord Emmeline would always be the boy fumbling for a compliment. And perhaps there was a comfort in that. A memory of home on the bleak frontier. It's got to be hard being away from home for as long as you are when it comes to this sort of stuff. I do remember that he came up here, was kind of helping out, but that was one of the two, when we were doing the two different brothers quests, to Falcon's Nest. Where tragedy struck, But fortunately, our best friend Vidofnir was not mortally wounded. I think I would have been extremely upset if Vidofnir had died. Actually, I'm pretty upset if anybody dies, besides bad guys. It's still up there! Good. You have more than earned it. One need only look to the pilgrims who come in their droves to pray before the relief to see the truth of that. Some abide in silence, while others shed tears. Not for sorrow, you understand, but for joy. Joy at being released from Nidhogg's torment. This is really good. There's Artrial. Master Kelton, are you here on official business? No, just reminiscing. Aye, much has changed since we first came here together, since I abandoned you to follow the heretic's trail alone. Come, my lord. Mayhap you recall the survivor whom you carried back to Falcon's Nest that day? Well, his wife but recently gave birth to their first child. Is that so? Well, well, mayhap I should pay him a visit. Though he would doubtless be honored, my lord, you need not put yourself to such trouble. Your responsibilities as Count surely leave little enough time as it is. Think not on that. I am still me, and you are still you. Whatever our respective titles, I will speak to you as a friend. As he's now the head of the house. This preoccupation with position and power has sown no end of discord between our two houses, to the great detriment of our nation. So, call me Count if you must, but know that I take no pride in it. Mayhap one day, when I have earned it, I will, but not today. An honorable man, mindful of tradition, he was loath to accept the assistance of a foreigner in exile. When forced to confront bitter truths, he looked within and found himself wanting. He would set aside his prejudices and join hands with this gifted outcast for the greater good of Ishgard. Charge! Pull out your weapons! We're attacking! Oh, I'm sorry. Everything's fine. The four houses. The bell, which you didn't interact with much. The rose, the castle, and the unicorn. Arshafan, where are you? Oh wait, you're over here. This should have been, I think, like the very last quest after you finish Heavensward. This is really good. 2 foreign heretics against 2 knights of Heavensward. This was us and Alfino. Under the watchful gaze of the Fury, they would fight, and the winner's claims would be proven true. It was the opening gambit of a greater game whose stakes would remain unknown for some time. That's when we had to prove Tataru and Alfino's innocence. It's sad that quests like this aren't more in your face. I haven't done it before either. Honestly, some of this stuff, this should be like, there needs to be green quest that's like, technically it's not required, but like really, really good. You are Master Kelton, if I am not mistaken? We have met, though I am sure you do not remember. 'Twas a seeming lifetime ago when you answered the bishop's summons. At the very, very beginning, I often come here to reflect upon all that has come to pass. And when I saw you gazing at the holy vault, I thought perhaps you had too. Though we might be reflecting a little differently. You turned our world upside down. Everything we held dear. For change. For the truth. They say it had to be done, that his grace sought godhood. If so, then perhaps it was the Fury's will that you prevailed. But to say it, to believe it, I know that no man is without sin, but he was pious and humble, wholly devoted to the church and to his people. I knew him, sir. He was a good man. Whatever else he may have been, I will remember him as a good man. I can't blame him for that, especially since he didn't experience the God-man, to walk the righteous path, to live for the sake of others, to rise to the highest station, yet remain powerless to bring an end to your people's suffering. What price salvation, then? What sacrifice beyond reason? For uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. The journey of remembrance, you say? Well, far be it from me to deny you. Unannounced or not, I suspect the Admiral would be most displeased if she heard that I had turned you away. Yeah, we're a little bit too famous at this point, so. Thank the navigator. I had resigned myself to another day spent listening to my advisors prattle on about the Beastman's latest movements. Come, Jake, tell me of your adventures. Since ARR? Oh boy, have we got some stories to tell you. The Ishgardians sail in uncharted waters. Though I hope these new reforms of theirs meet no resistance, it would not be the first grand voyage to run afoul of reefs ere it properly began. But with Sir Emmerich at the helm, they may yet chart a course for generations to follow. This is characterization. Like everything she has talks about references nautical stuff. It's beautiful. Which is not to say that our own doesn't need correcting. The Alliance has grown complacent. The bloody nose you gave us at the melee showed me that. Nor have I forgotten the lessons of the banquet. Rest assured, we will root out any further turncoats before the dagger is at our back. You have my word on that, and Lady Aguirre's besides. Lady Aguirre, our date night was ruined. She had never been one to retreat, much less in the face of transparent theatrics. But this had been no ordinary battlefield, its rules of engagement anything but clear. So she would watch, and she would learn, and in time, she would act. Ooh, foreboding. Foreshadowing. And here? There she is! Higiri! Master Jake, is Artemis? No, I'm just remembering everything that we went through at the Rising Stones. I'm both flattered and surprised you should remember my small role in this tale, given the grandeur of your subsequent endeavors. And I believe I speak for all of my countrymen when I say that we are most grateful to have had the opportunity to contribute to the restoration of the Scions. This is from Doma, you know, the people that we helped kind of come to Revenant's Toll and fill out the Revenant's Toll as a whole. But in watching you and yours rise from the ashes and rebuild, I am reminded that we may never again give in to despair, for there's always something which may yet be saved. That's so awesome. I love that there's always room for hope. Well, that wasn't a Stydian quest that I thought that it was, but I still like that a lot, so. Are you pointing? Oh, keep going? Oh, the oaths we swear. Okay. I think I get what your point. I like get the point. I appreciate the teleport offer, though I do have return, which is for free. So has it even been this far? It's been good. It's been good. It's good to get a refresher. It's a little bit sweeter to do this not immediately after Heavensward. So Commander Swift tells me that you came all this way to deliver the unguent. You're on a journey of reflection, are you not? Merwib said as much. Wow, news travels fast. Do they have a comm link that's just like, beep, 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 beep? Yes, Jake is running around on some type of reflection, just warning you, he might be coming by. And now you want to relive the moment you pulled me from the pit Ilberd left me to rot in. It shames me to think of it, that I was so blind to his hatred. Lolorito tells me that it was not always so, that Ilberd admitted to him he once believed that I would return to Alamigo at the head of an army. But years passed and I did nothing. Forgive me, the Scions paid the price of my failings. But mark me well, lad, there will be a reckoning. Mayhap not today, mayhap not tomorrow, but a reckoning there will be. See, I like this kind of neutral, because if you've done the rest of the Heavensward quests and into Stormblood like we have, this sounds like the reckoning is him stepping back into his role as trying to help take back Alamigo, and it may not be at the time that Ilberd wanted or in the way Ilberd wanted, but the reckoning is still coming. He's like, Ilberd was right, I could be doing more, so I'm bringing that burden back onto my shoulders. If you haven't done those yet, then it sounds like he's having a reckoning with him and Ilberd, and then you learn a little bit more about that story. So I don't mind it even now, though. I still think it's good. A refugee of a fallen nation, he had risen from the depths of poverty to claim a seat on the Syndicate. Yet for all his great deeds, one was left undone. And like sands through an hourglass, the years slipped by, taking with them an old friend's hope. By the Fury, is that you, Master Kelton? Forgive me, but what reason could you possibly have for returning to this godforsaken place? Well, I'm going through, and this isn't where we met Yazael, is it? It is this place! Okay, I liked Yazael so much. Definitely one of the more interesting and favorite characters. I have a beautiful screenshot of this here. Wait, I know you. You were at the amphitheater with the Dragon Slayer. That is me. I suppose we owe you an apology. When you came to us seeking to parley, we were sure it was a scheme to lure out Our Lady. We were sure about a lot of things. When she first shared her revelation, when she told us that she was not Saint Shiva reborn, we assumed it was a test. Had we not prayed for salvation? Had she not delivered us from the evil? Oh, okay, so this is after her meeting with Trisvelgar, being told that she wasn't actually Shiva reborn. When we marched upon Ishgard regardless, she pulled us from the brink of oblivion and implored us to find another way. And here we are, ready to lay down our arms at last. She considered you a friend. Had things been different, mayhap we could have been friends too. Farewell. I hope they aren't, like, going to prison for forever. Forsaken by gods and men, they found salvation in revelation. They would take up arms against their own kind to set ancient wrongs to right. Cut out Ishgard's festering heart, and the war would be over. This they knew, believed with all their being. until their savior told them their efforts would be for naught. Something the matter, son? Not giving you trouble? No, I'm just remembering our adventures here. Journey of remembrance, eh? Gods, it feels like only yesterday that Yazel turned up in Tailfeather with you in tow. Back into our lives and gone all too soon. Did I ever tell you how we found her 5 years back? In Torpor, out in the forest, all by her lonesome? Aye, well, we weren't about to leave her there, so we carried her back here and tended to her till she woke up. Didn't say a word for days, Yazel. Just sat there and stared up at the sky as if the ground held nothing for her. And it didn't, we learned, when she finally spoke. And you might think she's not one to smile, but if you'd seen her in those years that followed, and one day all of a sudden she says she's got a truth that must be shared, up in leaves for God knows where. And that was the last we heard of her, for a time. I think, Jake, that deep down, most folk want to do right by themselves and by others, and they try. Oh, how they try. You do, certainly. So did she. Friends of Yazel, warrior of warriors, thou art ever welcome at Annex Shrine. What bringeth thee to us this night? We had a lot of adventures, and I'm glad you are survived. How are you doing? Or is the giant hole in your back healing? In song we do preserve the deeds of our lost, and chronicle the passing of the ages. Naught hath greater power to stir our hearts. 'Twas a dirge of profound sadness that roused Nidhogg's brood to action. A dirge which soundeth no more. Now a new song riseth to fill the void, one of hope rekindled, of war's end, and peace's rebirth. I shall sing of thee and Yazel ever after, that all may know and remember. In the chorus, the fallen could rise once more, for none are dead whose names yet echo in the heavens, and the song would not end until the last voice fell silent. Heroes and villains, sinners and saints, all would live again. Moglin, oh King Moglin! Well, Jacob, my Pullman called me Moonbat. I certainly wasn't expecting to see you today. Still calling yourself, Jake? Not that there's anything wrong with that, Kupo. Anyway, what are you doing here? Well, I remember all of the fun errands that we did for you and your kind. Oh, nice. Welcome back, Kanisena. I think it wonderful, this pilgrimage of yours. A final reflection upon the past, that you might face the future with eyes unclouded and a heart of peace. With Nidhogg's passing, the children of Ishgard and Dravania may at last look to the future. It is my hope, however, that they will not forget the deeds of history, nor the many thousands of lives lost in their conflict, for only through remembrance will they avoid the mistakes of the past. Even in the farthest reaches of distant, dangerous lands, one may chance upon a friendly face. Though given to mischief and largely unconcerned by the troubles of the outside world, they came to understand Ishgard's plight and agreed to lend their aid. Eventually, that is. This stuff like this is what makes the world feel very alive and lived in. And it's not just that everything is extremely static and you're the only one running around doing anything or changing anything, but that there are other characters that come around. Make camp. Oh no! Wait, are we really going there? That's where we had like the one evening of peace before all the tragedy struck. The crackling warmth of Alfino's campfire, the savory waft of Yazel's bubbling stew, the soft snoring of Moghan asleep on the grass. Cold wind blew that night as well, and on the morrow they mounted the steps and blew the horn. But having climbed to the summit with hope in their hearts, they descended dejected, weighed down by truths too grim to contemplate. Man, it's what makes a good arc. Y'all, we can still come back here and have a nice campfire and hang out. You there, over here quickly. Is that a soldier? Genlands? Who is that? Wait, is that Nanamo? I should have known you would see through my disguise. After all, you have seen it before. No way! Is this Nanamo from literally... This is the same costume she wore day one. Like our very first quest for the missing princess. This is the outfit that she wore when we met Thancred and when we started off on our whole journey and everything. That's amazing. I should have known you'd see through my disguise. After all, you have seen it before. But enough talk. We cannot linger here, lest the gods recognize their Sultana. Are you running away again? Do I have to chase you down again? I feel like I need to go back and be a gladiator. As you may have deduced, I was taking the air outside the palace when I saw you standing there, staring off into space. Have you something on your mind? Well, I'm just remembering. Gosh, it's been a long journey. It's been over a year. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. And a lot of you all have joined along and have become friends and everything. I understand completely. So much has happened. So much has changed. And all in so short a space of time. Even now, I struggle to make sense of it all. But one thing, at least, is abundantly clear. I owe you an immense debt of gratitude for all you've done on my behalf, and on behalf of those whom I hold dear. Oh, listen to me. So much for enjoying a moment's respite outside the palace walls. It seems rather as if I had brought my responsibilities with me. I suppose I should return. But can we get a hug from you real quick? On the other hand, it is essential that a ruler see firsthand how her subjects go about their daily lives, and I have not visited the market in weeks. It would be a shame to let this opportunity go to waste. Jake, might I impose on you to have a brief yet cordial conversation with those Sultan Sworn? I'll leave the choice of subject matter up to you. Take care. It's our responsibility to distract Papa Sean. I beg your pardon, sir, but did you perchance see a young Lalafella noblewoman pass this way? No, I don't know where she is. I have no idea. Are you certain? Oh dear, oh dear. Master Papa Sean said this might happen, but I never truly believed that he was serious. It's happened before. Man, this goes way deeper. I thought that at first it might just be Heavensward, but going all the way back to our day one in ARR, that's so amazing. But Master Papa Sean was most explicit about the need for secrecy. But forget I mentioned it. We will find we will find the lady on our own. Maybe you should go check a certain tree outside in the, I think it's east, Thanaland. Go check out a tree over there. What cruel fate to lose her father as a child, and to be compelled to rule in his stead, and how the years had tempered her dreams, had taught her, sometimes brutally, the price of naivety. Though outwardly unscathed by her ordeal, it was wiser and more wary Nanamo who reclaimed the throne. You learn through your trials. I'm switching back to Paladin. There you are, Jake. Hikiri told me of your pilgrimage. I knew it was only a matter of time before you sought me out. I too have been reflecting on the choices which shaped my path. When I took to the road with my grandfather, when I joined the Crystal Braves, when I tried and failed to warn you before the banquet. I was so worried she was dead. I had my suspicions about Rilrid's death, that it was the work of a Garlean spy within our ranks, but I could not be sure who was involved, hence my desire to speak with you in private. I thought long and hard about how to approach you without arousing suspicion. Mayhap too long. Eventually I decided to arrange a meeting through Mistress Momody. Little did I know that Laurentius had seen me do it. Shortly thereafter, the fourth received urgent summons. Needless to say, I had no choice but to answer, and soon found myself at the mercy of Captain Ilberd's band of traitors. One might argue that it turned out better than it had any right to, all things considered. Still, there are nights when I lie awake wondering if I had done things differently. If I had been more careful and more decisive. What then? I'm not gonna forget Wilred for sure. There was such an innocence about him. Elaine, I'm really glad that you're okay, and thank you for trying hard to warn us, even if it didn't work out. For the freedom of all. It had begun with an oath and ended with betrayal, as the conspirators turned on their comrades for coin and country. The good and true were beaten and imprisoned, or else butchered where they stood. But even in the darkest moments, they never stopped believing that the dawn's light would shine again. Back to the Foundation. We're going all over the place. Why, hello there, Jake. Fancy meeting you here. Wedge! Where's Biggs? Hey, he's there too. We haven't seen you two in a while, actually, now that I think about it. Reminiscing about the glory days, eh? Aye, we spent many a sleepless night hammering away in the corner of ours. How's the mana cutter holding up, by the way? It's great that we haven't ridden it too much super recently, but apparently adventurers have been queuing up the place in order, or even some sky pirates. Just imagining the sea of clouds teeming with our creations fills me with a father's pride. Right then, that's enough patting ourselves on the back. We've got to make sure the mana cutters are up to snuff, or else Jesse'll never hear the end of it. From now till we finish, there'll be no more breaks, distractions, and not one wink of sleep. Do you hear me? Despite the many hardships they had endured, or perhaps because of them, they greeted every new challenge with a smile. Their workshop, their battlefield, their tools, their weapons. They invariably rose to the occasion, delivering ingenious solutions to seemingly insoluble problems. They are our secret weapon. Hilda! We haven't seen Hilda in forever! Some days I'll be walking through the broom, same as usual, and it'll hit me all of a sudden just how much has changed for us. Though I know it's a bit different from what you've been through. Puts me in mind for the first time I saw him and his friends up near the Aetherite, being shown around by that House Fortome man. I vaguely seem to remember commenting on the tattoo, like the shaved spot on the side of his head, so it was as much a meeting as heckling, to be honest. When I heard their guide warning them off paying a visit to the broom, it stuck in my craw. And you've got to admit that Master Alfie knows the spitting image of a snotty little lordling. A little lordling that went on to fight 2 knights of the Heavensward with Jake here in a trial by combat. Not to mention helping retake the vault from the True Brothers. Fury have mercy, it feels like a bleeding lifetime ago, don't it? Except that you were just saying that you're like already reminiscing, it hasn't been that long. Except it does feel like it's been forever. A world apart from the opulent of the pillars, they had toiled, shrouded in the haze of the broom. Sentenced to a life of hardship by birth, they dreamed of revolution as children, stream of fairies. Then, when one came and went, they suddenly found themselves with a seat at the table. Oh, Lancer Guild is closer? Or is it? I don't know, maybe I'll beat you there. Maybe I'll beat you there. Oh, you got the corner. Love it. Ah! Just a second too short. Your legs are way too fast. You meet the... Well met, Jake. What brings you here this day? Remembering everything, including your sister. I'm so glad she's alive. Thank you. I know it's not her, but... Indeed. Though it seems an age, it was not all that long ago that we rescued Stola from the life stream. How quickly we begin to forget even those memories most precious to us. Yet while I understand her desire not to burden those around her with her troubles, and to carry on as she did before, I do worry that her willingness to manipulate her own ether to compensate for the loss of her sight may have dire repercussions. Okay, I wondered how secret that was, if we were the only ones who had kind of put 2 and 2 together, if other people know about it. So at the very least, she is aware of it. You should know that the technique she employs places a tremendous strain on her body. She is, of course, well aware of her limits, and more than willing to ignore them should she deem it necessary. Her sister was under no illusions as to the dangers of the life she had chosen. Should the worst come to the worst, Yashola would do what was needed to be done. Pay any price, make any sacrifice, and that without hesitation. She was a woman of conviction, deserving of respect and admiration, and no small amount of worry. Interesting. For the final objective of this quest, you receive no guidance from the journal or duty list. Okay, I think we can do this. In caves south of settlement lies Old Crone, we know where she is. Wielder of powerful magics used to crafty make frogmen that chase away curious gobbies. Uplander has made many business deals with Old Crone, yes? An Uplander can appeal to Crone's better nature and make her call off frogmen harriers. We can certainly try. She's pretty good about just doing whatever it is she feels like doing, so I'm not gonna make any promises that we can... Matoya... Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I'm well aware you're only here because you want something, but at least you didn't bring your little friends. So, out with it. Aren't you a bit young to be going on any grand journeys of reflection? You haven't lived long enough to have so many regrets. It's not only about regrets, okay? There's good times just as well as there's bad. The same goes for that boy, complaining that things haven't unfolded as he dreamed they would be. It makes no difference what should have happened to Minfilia. The past is the past, and no amount of wishing you'd done things differently will make it so. You make your choice, and you do what needs to be done. That's it. There's the attitude you came here with the first time, when you wanted to find a way to get to Az's Law, and you would do well to remember it. She was the sum of everything that had come before. Triumphs, failures, all essential, all indispensable. Had things unfolded differently, so too would she. What use, then, to mourn the woman who never was? There was only this time, this place, this sad, terrible, upsetting, and maybe slightly tiny bit hopeful choice. My eyes aren't watering, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, we're going to Az's Law. You spy something on the ground at the landing's edge. Blue bouquet. This is where we lost Yzael. 1,000 fires blossomed around her as she fell towards the battleship. A crimson star shower amidst the impassive clouds. Then came the azure light. Faint at first, soon blinding, then shattering, casting motes of diamonds to the four winds. She will be missed. I think she was one of the first super epic battles. It wasn't us who was doing the battling, because we had fought a lot of primals before and everything, but it really did feel like we were kind of helpless and just watching what was happening. But that made her sacrifice even more impactful, because we could only just watch and bear with it. So this one always hurts. Tiamat. I wish we could release her. Child of man, chosen of Hydaelyn, naught remaineth for thee here save the delusions of the condemned. In my madness did I spy my departed brood-brother in yonder skies, though I know it cannot be so. Well, it was kind of a shade of your brother, and thou didst deliver him unto death's cold embrace. I bear thee no ill will, child, 'tis beyond me. All my hatreds are bound up in moments ephemeral and eternal, my beloved's passing and his resurrection. I am no better than Nidhogg, consumed by love, twisted by rage. I too sought vengeance without end. Midgardsormr! Yet thou hast since renounced it, hast thou not? Sometimes we forget that he's still with us, like in all of our journeys. As time delivered Alleg unto its reward, so too will it prove this peace true or fleeting, as I remain here, apart, and watch. Perhaps there was hope for them. Perhaps this time they would learn and remember. But her part in the tale had ended long ago. Within this monument to hubris, she would remain until the end of days, beyond redemption. That's really sad. Maybe one day, Tiamat, you'll change your mind. Maybe one day. Gotta go to the research facility. We'll be back to visit every now and then. We look so knightly. The Undying Ones were defiant, disbelieving, even as death embraced them. Then the knights too succumbed, loyal to the last for a cause long lost. His body growing light, the Archbishop looked upon the arbiter of his fate and knew not what he saw. And then it was over. There was still that moment where he was just like, "What are you?" Naught remained save the eyes. Thinking to bear them away from the covetous hands of men, Estinian took the accursed baubles in his own and was duly bent to their will, if only for a time. At a friend's behest, they had embarked upon their journey, and so, after their triumphant homecoming, with all the pomp and circumstance, there was but one way it could end. I'm still waiting for it to be like, to not give us a clues as to where they were to go. Oh, pay respects to a friend? Oh my goodness, I don't even need to click on that. I know where to go from here. Didn't even need the quests. You have learned the emote Archiffon. What a cool way to kind of carry forward the memory of him. Yeah, like he got turned into an emote and everything.
He turned himself into an emote. Funniest shit I ever saw.
In the there's different levels of, becoming a legend. There's those that the family talks about. There's those that your community talks about. You're written down in the stories. You're told in the bardic tales of the realm, or you become an emote. So, an emote better suits a hero. I thought that this was going to kind of talk about what Estinian did. And I guess in a little bit of ways, if he had the bouquet of flowers, we learned about him and where he dropped those flowers off for Yazel. But for now, man, we got an hour of time. We could just jump back into more MSQ. Unless there's something that you all really, really want, really want to do besides MSQ.